Yo, welcome to another Way Day show. I've got some special guests. This is like, I don't know, it's like having the Galacticos in the building right now. Introduce yourself.
Hi guys, my name is Samuel for Varsity AFC. You've seen me on EGTV, Girl Football Terrace, Arsenal fan through and through. Non-deluded Arsenal fan.
Guy, Mike, tell us.
Yes, what's happening, man? Gunnar, thanks for having me.
Whoa, what's Prime doing with his life? We said Mike and Prime is jumping in and that.
Prime is trying to overtake me, bro. Yeah, listen, man. Gunnar, thanks for having me on.
No worries, man.
I'm on Twitter at OJ Johnson. Often engaging with these boys, so you can definitely find my app on Twitter, man.
Yeah, quickly tell us about your podcast as well. Like, how can we find that?
Oh yeah, thanks for plugging that, bro. I really appreciate it. You can get that on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well. It's called Cut the Grass, and we talk about everything culture-based, society, politics, education, the full works, man. Basically, everything that you want to hear about being alive in 2020, going into 2021. So make sure you check us out. A couple of black dudes from Scotland, man. We're doing our thing.
Love that. Prime.
Yeah, Adam's Prime. I'm on Twitter, my YouTube channel where I just do interviews with people and stuff. I'm on the Terrace, bits and bobs where we do the wrap up with myself, Mike, Bobs and Beats. I'm on Monsters channel where I host watch-alongs. I'm on KH No Filter Football where we just talk Chelsea and the top six in general. Just catch me anywhere and everywhere, really.
All I will say on Prime is the devil works hard, but Prime obviously works harder, man.
Listen, Prime's everywhere, man. Just switch on my phone, man. I see Prime retweeting straight away, man. This guy's busy. I don't even know if he sleeps, to be honest. Like,
nah. I don't need a sleep pattern.
We're gonna jump straight in. We're gonna talk about this team here, Spurs. Are they blessed? Are they deluded? So, are they blessed because they've got Jose Mourinho? Are they deluded because they thought they were in a title race? I've heard quite a few Spurs fans talking about getting rid of this guy already, and I'm like, are you lot serious? Like, what world-class managers have Spurs ever had to warrant thinking they even deserve Jose Mourinho, for one? Like, you haven't won a trophy since, I don't even know. So to think you should be sacking Jose Mourinho, that's a bit mad. And I just feel like Spurs are doing a Spursy. Samuel, tell us what you think.
The thing about Tottenham is, if you look at the past 10 years, you look at the managers, they're just average managers. You've got your Harry Redknapp's, your Pochettinos, your Villas-Boas. Managers who've never had that name. And now they finally get someone, and now they complain.
Yeah.
And, if Jose Mourinho can't win a trophy at Tottenham, I think that club's finished. Literally, the man who's known for trophies everywhere he goes. If you can't bring you a trophy, then I think Tottenham as a club need to liquidate. I want them to liquidate already, as it is. But if Jose Mourinho can't bring the trophy, RIP your club, delete club.
That's big words, Samuel. Mike?
I think Jose is a good fit for Spurs, man. I've really I've bought into what he's doing at Spurs ever since that Amazon documentary.
Yeah.
I've actually, taken a shine to some of the players, Son especially. I liked Son before the documentary, but I loved him more after watching the documentary. Yeah. I think Kane obviously is a good captain. I think Jose is doing a good job at Spurs, man. I think the season is too close to call at the moment, in all honesty, and that's just genuinely from a footballing perspective. Like, without a footballing brain on, the season is far too close to call at the moment, and Spurs are still in a title race, unfortunately, whether we like it or not.
You think that?
I do, yeah, 100%, bro. Yeah. Like, look, at the end of the day, we know how quickly in the Premier League you can win 3 games on the bounce. And that can easily happen when you have 2 home games, 1 away game that's a decent fixture. It can happen in the Premier League. And this season, that can change the whole outlook of the league table.
That's funny though, because you say that, but I saw a weird fact that I don't think anybody's won 300 bounce this season.
It was 4 in the bounce, bro. 4 in the bounce.
4, is it 4? Yeah, okay, yes. Yeah. All right, they can put 3 on the bounce and get back in there. But on current form, everything that's going on, do you really think that they can do that?
What I'm saying is I'm not saying you can. What I'm saying is not possible.
Not impossible. Okay, yeah.
It's not impossible, especially knowing that Jose Mourinho is a manager and he backs up by winning things. He's a winner. Yeah. He's a single winner. He's won everywhere he's been to. So, evidence would speak for him to say there's a trophy coming for Spurs. Where is it going to come? We don't know, but they're definitely not at the title race. So, if I was their fans, would I be saying, Jose out, looking at the table, looking at everything into consideration? 100% no. 100% no. It's banter, man. It's rival clubs that get in your head and make you think like, it's impossible. But I mean, if their fans are doing that, it just shows that, they just don't have the nerve or the steel to like be in a title race. They don't have
it's people like Prime, man. They get in your head in that, man.
Man. That's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to do. We're here to make you doubt yourself.
Prime, what do you think? Because I know you're Mourinho. You're Mourinho fan, aren't you? So
yeah, technically, our Spurs in the title race, yes. They're not winning it this season. No, it's still Liverpool. But Spurs, the target should never be to win. At least with Jose, anyway. The target was never to win the title this season. The thing with Spurs, and I've been saying this with United fans that want Poch, that winning mentality factor, they failed to get over the line. Because you look at over the past 4 or 5 years, and Samuel and Gunnar, you guys are Arsenal fans, and I know you guys don't want to say this, but to be honest, they should have won at least one Premier League title. And the fact that they haven't shows they don't have that mentality. I mean, with Jose, what he has to do is bring that into their club. And the first thing he's going to target, which he's already doing, is the League Cup, the Carabao Cup. Yeah. If he wins that this season, for me, I think he'll push to win the Europa League because that'll be the easier thing to do. Mm-hmm. So he'll fall away in the league a bit, maybe finish 4th or 5th. End of the season, if they finish 5th and they end the season with the Carabao Cup and the Europa League, it's a success. Now, the reason why Spurs fans are freaking out is because of the style of play, and they don't like the style of play. Fair enough. But however, Poch played attractive football and didn't win anything. So for me, my whole thing personally, attractive football is winning football. Whatever gets you to win the trophies, that is what I love. Obviously, everyone wants to, everyone wants to blend sexy football with winning trophies, but it doesn't always work like that. So gotta take what you can get.
Is it too dissimilar to Leicester, the way Leicester won the league? Because I think somebody mentioned you can't win the league counter-attacking, but is that not how Leicester won the league?
Yeah, yes, but the way... Don't take anything away from Leicester winning it, but that season was just... It was just so perfect for them. Yeah. They started off a bit rocky. I remember Ranieri complaining of the fact that they just couldn't keep clean sheets. Yeah. And then they just got on a run of form and they took off. And they got to a point where the only one challenging them was Spurs. Yeah. And Spurs and I think maybe Arsenal. But it got to a point with Leicester where they were just going and going, and it was momentum carrying them along. It wasn't. And then it was at a point where we're so close, we can actually do this. So, and Spurs balling near the end. That's the season when they should have won the league.
That's when they should have won it, and they ended up finishing 3rd.
Exactly. So
they ended up finishing.
For me, it's the thing of Spurs win the Carabao Cup this season, maybe win the Europa. Yeah. Next season is when you target the league, because I think it'll be not much easier, but I think next season should be the target for Spurs, for Chelsea, even Man United to win the league.
Yeah, I heard that. Personally, I can't see it just because I don't know if Spurs have the money to really back Mourinho, and I don't know if the players, because we saw at Chelsea, players switch off quite quickly, don't they? Like Spurs think they play this amazing football. They've always thought they've played this amazing football, but they've never won a trophy. So it's quite for me, yes, quite arrogant of their fans to actually be turning around and being so disrespectful. To be honest,
if you look at the managers they had, Harry Redknapp and Honde
they all
Ramos.
play good football, though. To be fair, like on those years, they played some good football, and they had some really, really good players. Welcome, Harris.
Yeah, but
Big up you, man.
When you're not, this thing of playing attractive football is a bit of a myth because it's such a smokescreen.
Yeah, it is. It is. Arsenal got away with it for so many years. They're not winning, but they're playing good football.
Like, Liverpool play good football. Yeah, they do. However, if Liverpool hadn't won the Prem last season, the season beforehand, the Champions League, if they hadn't won the Super Cup and the Club World Cup and stuff like that, what is all that good football going to get them?
Yeah,
100%.
You have to win trophies with it. You can't just rely on good football for 4 or 5 years.
Harris, last one quickly. What do you think? Spurs are they in the title race?
I don't think they're in the title race personally. I think what's happened is Mourinho's just gone on a very, very good run. I think the fans got a bit out of hand because when you talk to most, like if you had spoken to a Spurs fan at the start, they would have said, "We just won a trophy this year." That's what they would have said, and that's their expectations. Their expectations wasn't the league. I think, obviously social media's hyped it up because now you're seeing the results. They're playing this ugly football. It's not nice to watch. But the thing with Mourinho is when you're getting results, like you'll forget about how the football was played. But when you look at the Wolves game, it was a snooze fest. You're gonna start to complain, and they've had the luxury of seeing this good football, which has got them no results. I think some Spurs fans want the Pochettino football. They liked it; it was attractive. But now they're seeing this ugly Mourinho football. But I think they're gonna wait it out until the end of the season, because if they don't get their trophy, I think they'll go ballistic. And I think the Carabao Cup is the best chance for them to get the trophy. Got Brentford in the semi-finals, and I think Mourinho can shithouse his way through the final, bro. I think he will legit win it.
If you want a manager for a final, you would pick Jose Mourinho. I think Jose Mourinho. I don't know, Mike. What do you think? Would they have had a very, very good chance of beating you guys on the Champions League final if Mourinho was in charge, or do you think you would have got that result regardless?
It's hard. It's a hard one to be honest, Gunnar, man. Listen, finals are not really that tactical, man. I think finals are emotional games, man. They're that's why they can be quite boring and quite bad. Because the players it's just a bunch of hype built up for like weeks on end. Players are feeling high emotionally. So would Mourinho have beat Liverpool in the Champions League final? I honestly don't know. I think what was his name? Poch that was in there before. He could have won. Like, come on, man! Everybody watched that game. We got a penalty that probably, if it wasn't a penalty, nobody would have complained.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then the game was dead, and then Origi popped up and scored, just off a corner. So,
I love this little stat here though. Like Spurs' last trophy that they won was February the 24th, 13 years ago. So Carabao Cup might be their option this season. But yeah, I don't know. Like I just think Spurs fans. They're a bit like West Ham fans with this West Ham way of football. But what is that? Like, you haven't won any trophies, so what's the point in having a way of football if it's not bringing you any success? Let's get on to the next topic. We've got Liverpool. Are they being arrogant?
Somebody's mic's a bit crackly, by the way, Connor.
Say that again?
Somebody's mic's a bit crackly.
I think that's Harrison. That you moving a bit crazy around them sides.
Yo, is it better now? Hold on.
A little bit.
Yeah, that's a lot better, bro. It's a lot better.
Yeah, there we go. So are Liverpool arrogant, or have they set their standards so high that now they're just being normal like everybody else? Like, what do you guys think about that?
When you say arrogant, what do you mean?
Like, did they go into these games thinking that they've won them before they've even kicked off? So that's why we're getting some performances that are a bit below par. Like, because obviously
yes, they do, as they should. They're champions.
I mean, like they walked into
against them. they are arrogant, and they should be.
Yeah.
You should be, because you are winners, and you're one of the best. You should.
I don't think so, Prime.
No,
I
but
think so.
winners you do have a air of. United had it for so many years.
Yeah.
Arsenal did. Chelsea did. You should have that as winners. A bit of an arrogance to it. It's not a disrespect.
Now,
Go, Mike. Let's see what you got to say, Mike. Because Mike, he wants to come back. He wants to come back.
No. I'm listening to Prime. He makes a good point.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I guess the team should have a bit of arrogance about them because they are champions, and yes, they do know that they are the best team in the league. Fortunately, we play in a shit league, okay? So everybody's shit, apparently. But, Liverpool can't beat certain teams on there, even when they play well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we play in a shit league. But, yes, I think I don't know what's going on with Liverpool. I've said this on multiple streams. Shout out to LFC Sonny, who's had me on his stream before. Liverpool, if you were a Liverpool fan, you would be pissed off at the amount of opportunities that team creates and the amount of opportunities that we create that, in our eyes, these are clear-cut chances, but to the rival fans, they're not clear-cut chances. Do you know how many chances that Mane and Salah miss per game? It's frustrating, bro. Like, it's frustrating. Like, if Liverpool actually took 50% of their chances in the game and finished them off, we would blow teams away, but we don't. We honestly don't. So, do I think Liverpool are being arrogant? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I honestly think that Liverpool, in my opinion, again, it's just my opinion, I think that sometimes you get a Liverpool that click. You get that. And that's what you've seen at Crystal Palace. Like, on their day, Liverpool will kill a team. They will kill a team. Liverpool can play really, really good football, like very attacking football. And if you watch the last game against West Brom, I'm not sure who was commentating. I think maybe it was Gary Neville. I'm not sure. Can't remember. But they were saying Andy Robertson whipping in crosses. I think it was the third cross. And the commentator said, it's very rare that you would see a team escape that type of pressure.
Yeah.
So I don't think Liverpool are getting, careless or too arrogant when they're playing teams. I just think that they are not clicking for some reason. They're not killing games off. They're not finishing teams. They need to start doing that. That's my opinion. I don't think it's arrogant. I just think it's just, something missing, bro.
Mike, on your point about, you pausing constantly, someone recently had their contract terminated, and I think he'll be the perfect person for Liverpool, which is Diego Costa. Because Diego Costa, because the amount of crosses that Liverpool put in, you need a target man in there. Trust me, if a target man was in Liverpool's team, he'll do very well. Because every game I see.
My honest opinion is that they set their standards so high that now they're just getting down onto everybody else's level. So this is how a normal football league should be. Like all the other years where it's been Man City, and Liverpool, where for the last 2 years, we're just blowing everybody else out. This is probably how a normal football league should be. And I think that is probably what's shocking Liverpool fans. And as amazing as they are, you can't do that for year on year. Like, I don't care. You have to find a different way of doing it because they're playing at 100 miles an hour every week. Like, that 100%. must batter your body. Like, I don't know. But I still think Liverpool are still the best. And I do think that they're missing their defense. I know people keep saying that Fabinho and whoever have come in there done a brilliant job, but it's not the same. Like it's not the same as having your first choice defense, because you automatically start thinking differently because you're thinking, who's behind me? Like the chance that West Brom got when someone just cleared it, long ball, and was it Phillips against one of their guys? And he just looked, I don't know what he done. Like the ball just went over his head and it gave them a chance. But I think if that's Gomez or if that's Van Dijk, those things they're not really happening. And I think when they get those two back, it's Liverpool going to click again. I don't think Liverpool have clicked once this season, apart from the game you were talking about, Mike. And I think 100%. Again, that is to do with not having a full team.
You know, one thing people forget though, how many injuries Liverpool have had.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They went and pammed Leicester 3-0. Everyone's like, oh, this is the time where Liverpool are gonna get murked by Leicester. No, they didn't get beat. But Sam Allardyce, yeah, he plays some terrorist football, bruv. It's just disgusting to watch. Yeah, okay, he got by with the draw, and it's fair enough. It happens in football. Yeah, people think, oh, Liverpool are on the decline. When they get their players back, they will turn this league into a farmers' league. I don't think people realize Thiago hasn't played. Like, no, he has played, yeah, but I don't think people have realized Thiago hasn't got a run of games right now.
The thing is, though, I was just looking up Thiago the other day. I think he's played 30 games once in his whole career.
100%. Yeah, now that's true. I think with in Bayern, he had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, he's injury prone. I think with Liverpool, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but I just think everyone has. I'm not going to say completely figured you out because you're still one of the best around, but people are trying to have found a few ways to be able to stop you a bit, or at least step up to you. We saw first game of the season, Leeds United.
They just
high intensity game. Liverpool won. You still deserve to win, but they were able to take you to the wire. Last season, when Norwich played you, I know you blitzed them in the first 20 minutes, and that kind of sucker punched them. But still, the way Norwich played, I think they were brilliant in that game. And if it wasn't for that first 20 or 25 minutes or so, I think maybe they could have got a result out of that game. So it's not like, I think because of how weird the season is, lack of a preseason and stuff like that, and having to play 2 games a week, it's allowing other teams to just Liverpool are finished. It's allowing other teams just to be able to focus on you guys. Also, you are Premier League champions. You've got a mark on you. Everyone wants to play.
That was going to be my next point. Once you're the champions, everyone comes for you, innit? So it naturally becomes harder to win games. But I still think Liverpool are going to win the league. I don't think anybody else is really in the conversation as such.
Listen, let me say, shout out to Bits, man. Shout out to Bits.
Yeah. I wasn't even going to shout him out, man.
Big shout out to Bits and Bobs, man. I was letting you, man. Big up to the man that said, Mike. Yes. Listen, man. Shout out to Bits, bro. Samuel, I was gonna come back to what you said, bro. Football isn't played on paper, so I don't agree that Costa would get into Liverpool's team. I think he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think his character would be something that Klopp would manage. So I honestly,
Mike, what I'm trying to say is if we're chasing a game like what Olivier Giroud was,
it's a good option. Basically, what you're saying.
Off the bench, yeah, you need a winner. Lump the ball up, head it in. Something like Olivier Giroud used to do at Arsenal.
I think with Liverpool, there isn't a plan B, so I don't think that is an option. I don't think they believe in plan B. They just believe in what they do, and let's be honest, it works every week most time, doesn't it? So, all right, let's get on to wrong one. Let's get on to this. Manchester United, are they in the conversation, or are they just pretenders? Samuel, we're going to start with you. Are they in the conversation?
Of course. I mean, if Tottenham are in the conversation and they're in 6th place, then obviously Manchester United are in the conversation. I mean,
all they got mathematically in the conversation, or really, really in the conversation?
Really, really in the conversation, because the way we're looking. Yesterday was an example of how the best teams win, which is they haven't played well, not the best of games, and then they somehow managed to win the game. So this is what Liverpool's been doing for the past 2 years, not playing well, and they still managed to win the game. So this is sort of a sign that they are capable of doing it. If they, in January, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does not get anyone, does not get the necessary recruitment, I see them falling out in April, May. But if this continues and Ed Woodward sees that Man United can win a title for the first time since Fergie, and I'm confident United can push Liverpool all the way.
Do you think this is coincidence? Do you think this is great management? Do you think this is a fluke? What do you think?
I think it's down to
it's all of them. It's all of them, fam. Now I'm gonna say this. You see everyone saying, "Oh, United's in a title conversation." 2 weeks ago, it was Spurs. It was Everton at one point. Aston Villa, bro. We're only 15 games into the season. They say that game in hand business. We don't know when that's going to be played. I want to see the points. I don't care about this game in hand. And the thing with us right now is our fans are getting way too ahead of themselves, because you had Chelsea fans saying, Mendy's kept 10 clean sheets. I think Lampard can do it. He can go all the way. And now look at them. Yeah, it's too early to speak. I think
But you know what? They say it's too early, but Christmas is the sort of point that everybody says if you're in and around that Christmas, you've got a chance in it. Like
100%.
at Christmas, we were saying, "Oh, Leicester, they're gonna fall away, Leicester." And then 2-2s now, bloody that little rat buddy's lifting the trophy. So
no, but then also remember last season, like Leicester were like second, and then even though Liverpool were clear of everyone else, Leicester came down to fifth. So anything can happen in December. I say you have to give it about 25.
Well, Leicester fell away because of massive injuries last
year.
season.
And that can happen.
Plus, that lockdown didn't really help Leicester.
No,
it only really helped Man United.
I think not bad. It did. Let's be honest. I think
are
United in a title race mathematically? Yes.
Factually, yes. But
will they win it? No. They're gonna fall away by like
final few games. Like Arsenal
depending on because they're gonna be in the Europa League, right? And I expect them to be getting into like semi-finals. So that's gonna affect their squad massively.
100%.
The same way. You know, I've said it with Leicester are always going to fall away because they always tend to really do that. Everton won't be around. I expect it to be Spurs, maybe. But again, like I said, if they win the Carabao Cup, the Europa League will be another trophy that they can win. That's 2 this season. It's better than challenging for the league and finishing second. So,
but Prime, you know one thing though, what gives me hope is the quality of our players to bail us out of situations. Because like yesterday, Bruno Rashford link up bailed us out of that game, Wolves game. If we had drew, we could have been talking a very different game right now. Like we could have been saying, listen,
it would
like,
all be Ole out.
It would all been Ole out, all of that. But the thing is,
it's all ifs, buts, and maybes. Where
100%. But this is how the whole season's been, bro. If buts and maybes, fam. Because I'll say this. Liverpool, one thing is, I'll say about this season, the amount of injuries Liverpool have got, I think is giving other teams hope. Because we are close to Liverpool right now, 2 points behind them. When you think about it, and I look at it, that Leicester game, we should have won. But we if I can't lie, our defense will let us down. I feel like unless we don't go in for a new centre back, I think we play Wan-Bissaka way too much. We don't have a quality backup right back for him, but I feel like it is too early to say United are in a title race.
I don't think it's too early. I think Christmas is, as I said earlier, Christmas is the sort of point where you're saying if you're in and around, you've got a chance. Mike, what have you got to say about this?
Bro, I'm going to be honest, man. I don't want to piss anybody off, man. I don't want to piss anybody off.
Do it.
Mike's coming with that confidence, bro.
Mike, just do it. Who cares about Bob? Just do it.
I care about Bob, man. Just do it.
I'm not trying to wind up fans, right? In my opinion, as one of the clubs that I hate the most, like Manchester. You know what? I don't hate Manchester United Football Club. I actually can't. You know, it's impossible. There's reasons why I don't hate Manchester United Football Club, even though I'm a massive Liverpool fan. I actually respect Manchester United Football Club. It's the fans that irritate me. Okay. Do I think United are in a title race? I do not. I seriously do not. And you can go back 5 weeks from now. You can go back to last week. You can go to next week, bro. I will not change my opinion. Manchester United are not in a title race with Liverpool.
One Prem, Leicester Pool Rovers.
I was hoping somebody would comment something like that. Yes, Liverpool have won one Premier League title. Now, we all know that Premier League versus league champions are two different things. So we aren't that far behind in league titles, okay? So teams can stop saying Liverpool have won one Premier League title, which is true. Fair enough, we hold our hand up. We didn't win a league for 30 years. Now, one thing United need to stop doing, Gunnar, is you cannot base longevity on 6 months. You can't base longevity on 12 months. It takes longer, and this is why I am so confident that Liverpool will not be matched when it comes to the Premier League title. I am confident that I have seen over the last 3 years what Liverpool are doing, and they've done it. They've come close. They've went to the Champions League final. They've got 97 points. They've won the title. They've done other things as well. And now in our toughest season, best defender out, goalkeeper out, goalkeeper come back, of course. Skipper went out. Skipper came back, of course. Jota out. How many players have we lost and we're still top of the league? If that had happened to anybody else, they would be way down the pecking order.
Right. I know what the reason is, because recently Liverpool acquired the Arsenal medic. Arsenal's medic basically went to Liverpool, so maybe
I don't know what's going on at Liverpool, but honestly, bro, like United are not in the title race because United are not consistent. They are not a consistent team. United are like
100%.
They are literally like 5 weeks away from screaming Ollie out. The entire family.
Very true.
No.
Look at Chelsea. It took losing one game against Arsenal for everyone to just switch. So United are if United
100%.
lose against Liverpool, that'll be the game where everyone switches.
No, but you know what
Can
I'm
I
gonna
just say this though?
Let Prime land.
When you guys first got your injuries, it was Van Dijk, and then a few weeks after that, you started getting your injuries. And I kept on saying Liverpool are still the favourites because I expect them to do a world-class manager.
I think that's when I first
And
met
Liverpool
Prime. He
fans-
did say this as well. I'm not
Liverpool
gonna lie.
fans kept on saying to me that, oh no, there's no way you can still expect us to be favourites. No way we can still be favourites with all our injuries that we have and everything. So
You know what? They just picked up that Spurs mentality for a while, like the sort of feeling sorry for themselves. And what Spurs do, they basically say we're not going to win nothing, but deep down, Spurs fans were so confident with that Liverpool game that they were going to beat Liverpool. They thought they were going to beat Liverpool, but then they started getting in their little excuses as the match was leading up, and then they come with their
100%.
excuses after. But what they do is plant little seeds. Oh, we're not going to do this, but deep down they think. But everybody knows, regardless of the only way I would have said Liverpool were not favourites if Robertson and Trent were out for a long period. If those two were out, then I think the whole dynamic changes. But at the moment, I still think Liverpool are the favourites because they're just by far the best team in the land. So let's get on to the Blues. Where's it going wrong?
Come on.
Where's it going wrong? Samuel, start with you again.
Well, one thing, all right, I'm gonna call people. It's the Chelsea fans. It's their own problem. Yeah, they came into the season saying, pray for the rivals this, pray for the rivals that. We're gonna win the league. Some Chelsea fans as well, Gunnar, said they'll go undefeated in the Premier League season.
Samuel, you one Chelsea fan said pray for the rivals.
Bruv.
Who's the Chelsea fan that said we're going undefeated?
Bruv,
I'm just quoting his words. I'm a Chelsea fan.
No. Which Chelsea fan said we're going undefeated? I want to know.
bruv.
Listen, I saw the football.
Samuel, you gotta come with facts, man. You can't just be making up them.
No, that way.
No, that's why I'm not even attacking you. I'm genuinely asking.
That's what I'm saying. That he has to come with facts at this point. Yeah, it has to be facts, man.
I looked at it. You're picking all the results. You didn't pick one loss. Not one loss.
No. But that show. Okay, Samuel. You know what we did that show because everyone kept on saying with the money we spent on Man City, right? Cool. We did that show based on the fact that we have to challenge them. So we did all those results. And everyone was like, oh, how can you expect a challenge? You signed 7 players. Rah, 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 rah. But it doesn't equate to how can you say with the players we signed, we have to challenge, but yet the players we signed, they all have to gel. That was why we did it, because it didn't make sense.
But the thing is, Chelsea, Prime, you're not in this bracket.
I hear that first 11. I think some fans are actually bigger Jose fans than they are actually Chelsea
Jose
fans.
Mourinho.
Is that Indiana? Is that a
No, hey, hear me out. Prime, you see all these Chelsea fans, yeah? My boy is he was like, oh yeah, we've kept 10 clean sheets. We're keeping clean sheets, yeah. We haven't lost the game. I think we generally can win the league. And I think
bounce Liverpool games on, man.
No,
yeah, no worries, Mike. Yeah, I understand. Man. No worries, man.
Take care, bro. Take care,
bro.
But fam, they were like, oh yeah, Chelsea can win the league. We've got a new keeper, Thiago Silva, commanding the defense. It's looking beautiful right now. It's looking beautiful. But guess what happened? Yeah, reality struck, innit? Reality struck. You lost to Arsenal, yeah. Okay, we lost to Arsenal. Fair enough, innit? I'll say that with my chest. But Arsenal were on a shitter run of form when we played them. You played them without Partey, without bro, they played their youth team and you lost.
Yes, Daniel. Talk about
Bro.
Viali, all right?
But Prime, all I'm saying is, yeah, you man got way ahead of yourselves. Timo Werner, yeah, he's not hit the ground running. Kai Havertz not hit the ground running. What do you expect, bro? Pulisic and Hudson-Odoi, yeah, bro, they're actually doing bits right now. I can't lie to you, yeah. But your team, there's something missing from it. I can't lie. I don't know what it is. On paper, you have all the players on paper, but I don't know what's missing.
But I think people have to be realistic with the whole Chelsea thing. The way I see it is Chelsea couldn't make a signing for a whole season, so they've made 2 seasons worth of signings in 1 season. So realistically, Chelsea were never going to really challenge this season, but they will always have to be in and around so they can build on it for next season. It's just taking a bit of time to gel. Like, I don't think there's any problems at Chelsea. I think everyone has their agenda. Everybody wants Pochettino, wants this guy. They want all these guys, but half of these guys have won nothing. And you're saying you want them to replace Lampard for what reason?
But I'm gonna say this:
when you look at Lampard's record since he came to Chelsea, it's actually not the best.
It's not.
Better managers have been sacked for less.
100%.
Like, he has one of the worst like kind of win percentages and stuff.
Those managers weren't sacked for footballing reasons, were they? They were sacked more to do with player power and stuff like that. I think players were getting sacked more than they should have been sacked for footballing reasons.
Yeah, I mean, look, Chelsea fans were saying we were in a title race. No, for me, I was realistic about things this season.
Yeah, Prime, you weren't saying it. I can't lie. I remember you weren't getting too gas, bro. 100%.
No, because for me, there was with the amount of players we signed, cool, but like even the signings, the only one I was really gassed about was. I mean, I know how good Chilwell is, but again, Thiago Silva and Werner were the only 2 I was really gassed about, and the only one that I knew would hit the ground running was Silva. I know Werner, he's young; it's going to take him a season to adapt.
But you know what?
Havertz, preferably, I'd rather have spent that money on All Black. I would rather have spent it on a world-class goalkeeper. Ziyech came in. I had question marks on Ziyech.
But Ziyech is way amazing.
I don't think there should have been any question marks on him because
listen, I think
when you're in a no offense but weakened league for so long and you're now in your prime, I have to question that. Why haven't you gone before?
Yeah,
he's been linked to Arsenal for 3 seasons now. Yeah,
and I think Arsenal missed out. I think Arsenal missed out on that. I think that was Arsenal being 100%. Stupid, to be fair, because we could have got him for.
You might get him in 5 years.
It makes me think, why not go to Arsenal or Man United or whoever? Like, why have you been there for so long? So it just made me question it. And whenever I've seen him in the Champions League, I saw him 2 games against Chelsea, and people can say he got a goal and an assist, but I think
he ripped Spurs apart, to be honest. Even though
that Spurs game,
he was killing Spurs.
You know,
I remember that game.
On that point, I think if Maurizio Sarri was still the manager of Chelsea, I think they're doing way better because
they wouldn't have signed these players though. They would have had
on the radar at Chelsea. He was on the radar at Chelsea because that was massively. He first place. You know what? In the conversation between Liverpool and City,
if Sarri stayed last season, Chelsea finished second.
100%.
I think how poor Man City were. Our defense would not have been as leaky last season, and I think we would have patterned up our attack because with the fact that we could create chances but we couldn't really score, we were conceding leads and stuff like that. Like we would have finished probably second or third comfortably last season, and we would have won the FA Cup final. So,
because I think the managers that come to the Premiership on that sort of head teacher vibe, Sarri, Emery, those sort of people, they don't last long. They don't, in Italy and Spain and those other countries, they can last because those players are built like that. Over here,
I think those players are more disciplined. I'll be real.
I think over here, there's no discipline. The players are a bit moist. They don't like being told what to do. They get managers sacked.
It's not just that. It's the fans. It's like because your name doesn't sound like Conte or Jose or Pep or Klopp. Your name doesn't. Your name and the way you're and your football, it doesn't sound attractive or sexy or whatever. People are going to turn against it. It's the same thing with
Brendan Rodgers. He's actually a really good manager. He was linked with Arsenal and stuff. And
I wanted him now, but at the time, my problem with him was just that I just thought he was too arrogant.
Yeah. But there are some people who think he's not good enough, and it's like the weird mentality because he's English.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
I would have taken him last season.
Bruv, he's best English manager right now, fam. I can't lie. Yeah. Brendan Rodgers, what he's done with Leicester, I'll say this. They have, in the midfield, their midfield is so balanced. And Ndidi, Tielemans, Maddison. I think the attack needs work, but their defense, I really rate their defense. Well, what they've done now. They are, you know what? They sold Harry Maguire, and they're coming higher than they usually are.
Like they were laughing when they sold him.
The midfield balance Leicester have is what United should have with Bruno,
that's what exactly we need. Yeah, if we can you imagine that, bro? We were shutting down.
Don't you think it's slightly easier though? I think is that what it is that it's a bit easier to have these teams when you have no expectation. Because remember, he was the manager of Liverpool, and obviously there was a certain expectation.
But you know what?
Before Klopp came in, even before Rodgers, Liverpool. There wasn't an expectation for Liverpool to be.
But he should have won the league, though, innit?
No, 100%. I hear that, but
he should have. But it's not really his fault.
But that's why he's not there anymore, though, is it? Because he didn't win the league.
Yeah,
but that was Gerrard's fault.
Well, I'm not going to say that. But then the second season or the season after that, they didn't back him properly. They bought him 7 players, but they were all mishmashy. There was Firmino, and then Lambert, and then Benteke, and Lallana.
I forgot.
It didn't fit a system.
No, but you know, I'll say this though. I'll say the thing with Brendan Rodgers is people are talking about expectation. Bruv, did you see the managers before him? Kenny Dalglish and Roy Hodgson run that club to the ground, fam. He absolutely done a whole shitstorm with that 2011 Liverpool team. Yeah, they lowered the expectation through the roof, bruv. They came like 8th or something that season. Yeah, and bruv, and the thing is, Brendan Rodgers. I'll say this: he done a decent job at building it back up. Like I'll be real. Suarez came kicking in, bro. But the thing with Liverpool is, I say, with the Suarez money, they didn't reinvest it properly, and the Sterling money, they didn't reinvest it properly. It was poor spending, and I think that fucked. I think that done Brendan Rodgers over in the end.
Yeah, I mean, at the time they didn't reinvest it, but they probably kept some, and Klopp sort of benefited from that. Let's move on to the best team in the country.
Hey, Arsenal and the relegation journeys.
Are we slowly climbing? Are we slowly climbing, or we just been lucky and got 2 half decent results? Samuel, what do you think?
I'm
gonna say something.
Go on, Samuel. Go on.
We as it stands on the table, we're closer to the top half of the table, the top 6, than we are to the bottom 3. So this relegation battle thing is kind of sort of a myth.
It wasn't a myth.
It wasn't a myth though. It wasn't.
Not at this time. You play Man City next week. If we say hypothetically, you lose Man City, or maybe West Ham, 3 points behind you.
No. But Samuel, you're not in a relegation battle anymore. But back then. 2 weeks ago, you technically were.
Not even 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago.
If we're going to be honest, it was banter, innit? Because obviously, if Harris, if you're in the other conversation, you're saying Man United and not come in the conversation because it's too early, and then you're saying Arsenal in the relegation battle.
That's banter.
How can you say, that's what I'm saying. So realistically, it was banter. It was funny. I was taking hits left, right, center, but it was funny, innit? Like, it was supposed to be Arsenal. And
now it's the mid-table.
Getting having 6 pointers at the start of the season. What do you think of? Do you rate any of those players, Harris? Any of Arsenal's players?
I rate a lot of your players. I think your attack, I personally think is quality with Reece Nelson. I still think Pepe is a quality player. I don't know. I just don't know what it is. I feel like the manager's not getting the best out of him.
I don't think it's the manager. I think he's not. I don't think he wants to be here. I don't think he wants to be in the Premiership. I don't think he wants to work hard. I think he would rather, if he goes to France, he's going to play every week. I think he finished second in goals behind Mbappe the season.
Yeah, goals and assists.
So obviously over there, it's easy for him. He's going to play for his country every week.
Okay. Question: saw the way you play against Chelsea and against Brighton. Does this not then prove how bad? For me, because I've been saying you guys do have good players. When you went through that bad run of form, and people laugh. Does this not prove, one, your players are actually good,
2, how bad your players and Arteta have been underperforming, and 3, this resurgence or discovery, I guess, of Smith Rowe and stuff like that. Maybe your board might think we don't need to invest heavily.
And that's
worrying me. But I think they may give him money in January. I think they will.
Wait, can you put up Charlie's comment? Just the recent one.
All right, listen.
Arsenal 2 wins in a row against a tough club and against Chelsea.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
The Brighton game was far harder than the Chelsea game.
Now, you know the mad thing about the Brighton game is they
Samuel was laughing all of a sudden. You weren't laughing 2 weeks ago.
Well, I was just enjoying the moment.
Samuel's like, take your time.
Did you say there, Harris?
Now, the thing with the Brighton game is they didn't put out their strongest squad. I don't know why they didn't. They didn't even put their striker on until the second half. But I'm not gonna lie, that's a game Arsenal should have won all day, every day. Yeah, 100%.
But then you lot struggled to beat them, didn't you? Like, would it take a
90-3? We struggled to beat them, but we beat them.
You didn't even deserve that. Didn't they hit the post in the first 4 times in that game?
After the whistle went.
Robbery FC, bro. Robbery FC. That's what
you lot scammed them out of that.
We robbed teams left, right, and centre. No,
I think Chelsea the only team that comprehensively beat them this season.
No, but this is the thing.
Devil's advocate, you beat Chelsea and you beat Brighton. You weren't favourites in either of those games.
True. You have a point there. They had
but does this not kind of prove?
I think we weren't favourites against Chelsea, but I think
you weren't favourites against Brighton.
What is that by your favourites, or is that by betting? Is that
by the
they're below us.
Yeah, I know, but just on the form and stuff like that.
And what
form are they on though?
No, but
I know, bro.
I don't think
they've won one home game. They've won one home game this season.
And that was against you guys. That was against you guys.
No, but the point I'm trying to make is the fact of you've won 2 on the bounce. Cool. I'm not even taking anything away from that. But is this real?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm asking you guys.
I think it's just the thing of you just won against 2 teams where I guess you weren't really expected to win. Like, if you guys continue to be winning on the bounce, does that prove it? If you guys have won, say 4 on the bounce, and then your 5th game when you're expected to win, and you lose it.
But the thing is, I think we can make it one because the next team is West Brom, Palace, and Newcastle.
So I honestly think we're gonna win. I don't know about West Brom, but I think we'll win the other 2 games.
I can imagine you lot.
They won't beat us, but forget I said that.
No.
Bro, someone should clip this up. Someone should clip this up.
Nah, I'm confident that we're gonna get points from the next 4 or 5 games. Up until that Man United game, then I don't know what's gonna happen there.
I think we'll be United. I think we can.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. You man are a bogey team now. I can't even lie. It's just like that, bro. It's like, bro. I personally think if we're United, just let you man have the ball, bro. Because your midfielders, I'll be honest. The thing with Arsenal right now, and I think the reason why they're doing so bad, is the midfield is disgraceful. You're not in.
Come on, it's Xhaka and El Neni, like.
Yeah, bro. El Neni and Xhaka. No, I can agree.
That's not even bottom 3 midfield. That's
you man. Bro, I'll be real. Yeah, the thing is, there are some questionable decisions. Like, why did he send Torreira on loan, Guendouzi on loan? Because I think these players are better than Xhaka and El Neni.
Yeah, they are.
El Neni, in my opinion, gets and then he gets into the Liverpool squad.
Squad, not team.
Bro, no, El Neni is shit. He's like, El Neni.
He's not rubbish. He's a squad player that can do a job, but he needs good players around him. Xhaka can't play with anyone.
I think Xhaka. You know what the thing with Xhaka is,
I would take Xhaka at Chelsea.
No, bro.
No, come on,
bro. Let me tell you something.
When I see quality,
no, you know
he has quality when no one's around him.
No, I'll say that with Xhaka,
put Xhaka in Spain, put Xhaka in Italy, the guy's a beast.
Yeah,
but in Premier it doesn't work.
The thing with Xhaka is, I feel like he's a player that's too overconfident, and I think he fucks up he messes up the whole mentality within Arsenal, because he has that arrogance about him.
He's just got zero pace. That's his problem. He's got zero pace. Like, he can't sniff danger. Even if he does sniff it, he don't even have the pace to even get there. And that's what I like about Kante, is that he can play 100 miles an hour all the time. Like, he can sniff danger and be there as well. Like, he's just an athlete. He's just a beast. And that's what I think every team, unless you're going to do what Liverpool do, but the rest of the teams in the Premiership, I think they all need a Kante in their team to survive.
Bro, we need a Kante, bro. But I don't think Kante is the same as he once was. I think Kante, compared to like...
I mean, he's only going to go backwards now because he's getting older, isn't he?
Yeah,
so
100%.
he might just turn into Makelele now. We don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but... I hear that.
No, like but who Arvin is, but yo, bro.
No, I was gonna ask you. I want to ask you both. Yeah, before the season started, what were your league expectations when you got Partey, Gabriel? What was your sixth? What about
mine was sixth.
You know what? Top four, yeah, top four. All right, let me ask you this, innit? Yeah, do you think Arteta's been good enough this season, and do you want him gone? Because if you are saying top four and top six, you man should have never been in 15th.
We feel okay.
The season's not finished though.
Exactly. Nah, the season's not finished, but
this conversation only makes sense at the end of the season. The same as Lampard conversation, the same with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer conversation. It only makes sense at the end of the season because all you're giving me right now is if, buts, and maybes, which
100%.
don't win you football matches. But if we can sack him and then what does that mean? You get somebody else. How do you know he's going to keep us up?
Mm-hmm. No, that is no. You have a fair point there. I can't lie. You have a fair point.
It's just if, buts, and maybes, isn't it? Like, but I don't want Arteta to go. Like that's just me.
But the thing is, do you think some of it is sentiment? Because I think with Arteta being 15th, you lost to Burnley, and after that, and then Everton, and I think after the Everton result, he should have been gone. Because
for what reason?
Arsenal should never be in 15th. You man are a top 6 club in my opinion.
Have you never been 15th? Have Liverpool never been 15th?
But listen, you are. Okay,
everybody has done it, so it doesn't matter. They didn't finish there at the end of the season. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So if they finished that,
corner came with a receipt.
That's what I'm saying. These managers love writing blank checks. You know, that don't make no sense to me. Like, I want at the end of the season, I want to see it. If he's not in the top 6 or 7, then I'll have to have serious words with the guy. But you can't tell me sack him because he's 15th right now. Like you're saying, it doesn't mean nothing being second in the Premiership before Christmas. That's what you said. So you can't have the same argument for anyone at the bottom of the table, can you? Because it's not.
Yeah, but then West Brom sacked their manager. Like, they actually went and sacked their manager.
Huh? Idiots. They ain't got it like that. I mean, I think he's just the sort of player. When they sacked him, he's just the sort of guy that people don't get on with anyway, Bilic. So that's probably
why they sacked him. On that comment, also is 9 points off top 4. It's a stretch, but it's not like Spurs winning the league. If we get Partey back in time and manage to get that creative midfielder,
I'm going to stop you right there. Yeah, I don't do in ifs, buts, and maybes. Yeah, I do with what's going on right now. Arsenal, what? They're 14th. Yeah, they're 14th. 14th. That's all I'm concentrating on. I'm concentrating on the next match. If Partey comes back, he comes back. If he doesn't, he doesn't. We can only work with what we've got right now. He's not there, so I don't care about him right now. So all I care about is what we've got, and that's what I'm gonna run with right now. Yeah. So I don't want to hear if, buts, and maybes, catching no one. I'm just trying to get 13th, then 12th, then 11th, then 10th. I'm not thinking about catches.
Slowly jump up the table.
We're 15th, We're 15th. We're 15th. We're 15th.
We're not 15th. That's what Chelsea will be if they keep Lampard.
What?
Nah. Chelsea.
I don't rate Lampard that highly anyway, so you can't banter me on it.
A lot of people are forgetting with this league. Yeah, you lose 2 games, you drop 5 positions, bro. It's the
same as you guys, isn't it? Like, you lot are gonna win the league. You're in a conversation to win the league, but the conversation soon end when you lose the next 2 games. Isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It's just
it's simple. But yeah, I'm a bit wary of the time, innit? Because I want to go watch this Liverpool game as well. Last thing I want to talk about is this. Yesterday, gosh, I don't know, man. Were Leeds in the wrong for doing this tweet? What she's basically said, in a nutshell, is they run everywhere, they run everybody into the ground. Her only concern is that they're going to blow up at the end of the season, so they're just going to get tired. She said, I think last season they only got promotion because of COVID, which, again, that's her opinion. So in my eyes, she's done nothing wrong. Leeds have then retweeted it and given facts. Are they in the wrong for giving facts, Samuel?
No, they're not. I mean, they're entitled to their opinion,
Yeah.
It wasn't anything of harmful nature. There was no harm intended, I believe. But what I believe behind the tweet was just a correction, saying, look at you, you don't know the full story. You just came in with a now instead of looking at the context of the situation.
Yeah.
You know what though, with this whole situation, this is how I see it. Leeds, it's been 16 years since they've been promoted, yeah. And then for someone to down tool them and say, "Oh, you only got promoted for COVID," yeah. Obviously, we're not Leeds fans. We don't see it the way they see it. It's a bit disrespectful to them because imagine being like, "Oh yeah, you man only got promoted because of Corona." It's like saying to Arsenal fans, "You lot only got won the FA Cup because of Corona." It's just ridiculous.
Nah, but no. But okay, I've been watching Leeds in the Championship for the past few years because Bielsa, and there's a vested interest there. The football Bielsa plays,
it's nice to watch.
No, his team tend to cast out near the end, which is why they haven't really got promoted before.
Yeah.
So it's not. I don't think she said anything wild. If without that, post-lockdown form, maybe they wouldn't have got promoted. Maybe they would have stumbled near. Maybe they still would have got promoted, but they would have gassed out near the end. I think they would have gassed out near the end. But the thing is,
but it's if buts and maybes.
Yeah, I know. But again, at the end of the day, it's a good thing they didn't get promoted a couple of seasons earlier because they're in the Prem now and they're actually competing and thriving.
Yeah.
Norwich got promoted last year, but it was kind of like a thing where everything just clicked one season. There was no plan in place, and they were in the Prem and they were still trying to play the same football, but it never worked. And they went back down. So
you know what I don't like? I don't like this disrespect to Bielsa because they talk shit. They just talk crap about he goes in attacking. All these men would rather watch Sean Dice play football because he plays some disgraceful football. I can't lie. Yeah, and these pundits never say anything.
My 3 or 4 things on this is one. If it was a black man, so if it was Ian Wright saying this and they retweeted it, it would have been Leeds are racist. So I think the only way this was ever gonna work, because if it was a white person and they retweeted it, but at the same time, loads of guys have said this same thing that she said, and they have never once retweeted it. So why have they retweeted hers? And I think football clubs, players, everybody has a responsibility. All of us on social media, like, we all know it's something we can say. People will take that as gospel, and like people will run off that and start doing a madness. And nobody that works on Lee's social media cannot tell me they did not expect her to get ridiculous amount of backlash after they did that.
Yeah, I think you know what Leeds fans are like. Everyone knows the character of Leeds. Not all of them, but some of them on social media. All fans in general, all football clubs, be it Arsenal, Man United, or Chelsea, you know what type of reaction you're gonna get if you say something negative about them. So I think they were aware. I think it was a little bit of ignorance from Leeds' tweet.
Yeah. But I think it's subconscious sexism. In my opinion, it was a bit of that because, like, at the same time, as I said, there's been 6 or 7 pundits that have come out and said the same thing, and they've never done that. They've never 100%. Had someone record the screen, put it on there, retweet it, and then send that out. So, like,
but
at the same time, I do think, at the same time, like, if it was a man, it would have come across as banter. So if it was a man like if a man said that and then it was retweeted by Leeds, everyone would have been laughing. Like, that's very funny and that. Like, but it's because it was a woman, it kicked off and went completely the wrong direction.
You know what I would say to this, yeah? Like, hearing your point of view, I'm starting to understand, because the thing is, the previous pundits that have said that, yeah, I think this was the Amazon Prime pundit, yeah? So obviously Amazon Prime's not as big as it is, and I think a lot of the people who watch football, they do respect a lot of these Sky Sports pundits, yeah? They will respect, like, I personally don't agree with a lot of these ex-footballers' opinions, talking about, like they'll say things like, like Martial's not good, but that's not relevant right now. But my point is, I think because people had no respect for her, they didn't know who she was. I feel like that's why they slandered her as well. And it is.
They all they need to do is do their research. This woman, like, she's got numerous England caps, numerous England goals. Like, she's actually a better footballer than half of the guys that would have retweeted a madness on her page that day. But I do think the buck falls with Leeds, and I think they should have known that she was going to get this sort of backlash, and I think they are at fault. Like all of us in here right now, like we've probably been like we've probably might not have known, but we've probably had like subconscious racism against all of us.
Yeah, 100%.
So like it's the same thing for me with her in a different position. It's subconscious sexism, and I think it was poor by them, and they knew what was going to happen, but at the time they were just feeling well. Like they just won 5-0 in the back of the Premiership. They got gassed and just done this stupid thing, which for me now is probably unforgivable because no amount of words can. How can you tell her sorry after people are sending her death threats and just a madness sorry to
if someone like Gary Neville said, "Now you know what, you opened up my perspective." If someone like Gary Neville said that, I don't think you like
it would have been banter. Like everyone would be laughing because they'll just be like, "Oh, Gary Neville," like be laughing. But she came with something that she thought was honest. That was her honest beliefs. Like you said with Man United earlier, they finished higher because of COVID. They had a little bit of rest and it benefited them.
Yeah, we got Pogba, Rashford back. Yeah,
that's all she said. It benefited Spurs because Kane was out for ages, but then that extended period meant he could play more games than he would have played. So,
yeah,
it is definitely an interesting conversation. Sam, do you want to just finish up there?
Yeah, I just want to finish up on a thing. I think Leeds, they won't apologize. I think they've gone so far out.
No, they haven't apologized.
I just went on the Twitter and the video's still on there, and it's still getting.
I checked that earlier. I was like, at this stage, you take it down, but obviously if they take it down, they would have to admit they've done something wrong. But they probably feel like they haven't done nothing wrong, so they're not going to take it down.
I just think the Leeds fans probably see it as a slap in the face to dominate. Yeah,
that's it.
Do you think it was a loaded question though? Like, no, not quite not a loaded question, like a loaded opinion. Like she knew that she would get this type of backlash.
No, she said, in my opinion. She said, I think. So that's what she's saying. That's what I think. It doesn't mean that's what actually happened. So when someone says I think, that's what they believe. Like I always say, all four of us can watch a match, and I guarantee all four of us will see something completely different
opinions. 100%.
Like that's just the way life is, and she just kept saying, I think that's what happened. Maybe she didn't say this is what happened. She said, I think. So because she said, I think that's where you have to just draw the line and think, okay, that's her opinion.
Right, it's her opinion. Right, you've got to respect it.
Cool. Prime, I'm going to let you finish. You got anything to add?
Yeah. Yeah, I just think in the world that we live in nowadays, having this
conversation. That's the way I think.
People are too quick to jump on things. Like she said what she said. Fair enough, but on one side, people are attacking her. There are some people who are attacking her. Whether they just don't like her opinion, or maybe because she's a woman.
Yeah, we don't know. We're never going to.
I don't always want to play that card.
But we're never going to.
On the other side, you have people who are just overly protecting her because she's a woman, and people are just assuming that they disagree with her opinion because she's a woman, and I don't like that either.
Yeah,
it's like we have a lot of female pundits in the game, like Alex Scott. Alex Scott is someone who I respect massively. You have the likes of Anita with the Gold Diggers and everything, and Kendall and Maya and everyone. Yeah. Like, I respect their opinions massively. The same I respect all of yours. I don't agree with everything they say. I don't
agree with half of the things they say, but it's their opinion.
We sit down, we have discussions, and it gets heated as it does with football and stuff. And that's the way it should be. If you don't disagree with what she said about with Leeds and everything, that's pretty spot on. Disagree with it. But when people start attacking her and stuff like that, like when I see replies like that, and I'm always like, if you can't refute what someone said and you have to revert to their gender or their race or whatever, then they've won the argument. Even whether or not they're right or wrong, they still won the argument.
You know what? You know one thing I didn't realize. Yeah, I didn't. You know when you mentioned about the sexism, like, I didn't even think about that. But now that I think about it, yeah, bro, it is. You know, it is actually sexist, bro. Like some of these football people, no, some of just football Twitter get pressed about certain opinions, and then they just start attacking. Like they'll just start disrespecting your opinion and then you as a person as well with it for no reason, but over football.
Listen, there was one instance on Twitter where me and someone else tweeted exactly the same thing, and like the guy called me a fool, innit? But that's all he said.
Yeah,
he's just like, you're a fool. I was like, oh, thank you for calling me a fool. I really appreciate that. Speak to you soon. But then he just went mad on the woman, and I was like, that's when I jumped in. I was like, but I've just said exactly the same thing.
But you have to treat
like that? You have to treat everybody the same.
Same energy everywhere. That's
same energy all the time. That's all I say. All I keep saying is just make sure you have the same energy all the time, and then I'll respect you. But if you don't have the same energy for everything, it just shows that you're moist and you don't have actual opinion. You're just like
100%.
It's weird, but people do that in general. Well, I kind of did this. Early days when I was on the terrace and stuff with some of the Chelsea guys, and this is when people were still kind of, I guess, warming to me, and I was getting hate at the start for my opinions I was saying, right? And we tried this a few times where I said something, and Gem or Monster or whatever would say the exact same thing, and they would agree with them, even though we were essentially saying the same thing. I think it's just something where people
it's numbers.
Are more likely to listen to someone that they already know or respect.
And it's numbers. Like we could be this whole conversation we're having. Like somebody else could have it. Another page could have it with thousands of subscribers, and people will be rating that conversation more because they know those people. Like you're saying, they know them. And they've got followers.
That's because of
followers. It means, having followers doesn't mean that what you're saying is true. It just means you've got more followers. You've worked harder, and nothing. That's how social media works.
But that's just life. I'm telling you this now. A lot of people, when they see someone with like 10K followers, they're more likely to big up their opinion than an account with like 200 followers. And sometimes these accounts with 200 followers speak more sense than the ones with 20,000 followers.
110%.
It's just the way life is now, and unfortunately, I personally don't think we can do anything about this because social media is built on reputation and the like following standards and all of that comes with it, and it's a bit unfortunate, really.
There's one or two guys, I think, awesome. Any sort of device. Yeah, I agree, Charlie. Like, it's just, it's happening more because obviously we're seeing her on the TV now. Alex Scott,
Soccer Aid.
All of these things are just like women are everywhere. We have to respect, there's no reason why we shouldn't be respecting their opinion, especially if these are full England internationals as well. So they have more. They've been in that sort of environment with other professional footballers anyway. So we need to have we should show them respect just in that. I think you've got to show anyone respect that's a professional anyway, just because they're doing it. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't feel like we should be having this conversation. It's getting boring now because it seems like we're doing it every week. I see Prime constantly saying, "Why are you sending this person death threats? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that?" Why are we having these conversations? It's just
do you think that's an issue? Yeah, I don't want to call all of football Twitter out, but minorities of football Twitter are saying, there are someone racially called me a packy. I was like, all right, or I didn't reply to it because I'm not giving these men any attention like that. Yeah. But I might say Harry Maguire's crap, yeah? And Prime disagrees with me on that. He thinks he's a good defender, yeah? But I don't go and start saying bad things about Prime. I respect his opinion. He can think Maguire's good. But when you start getting malicious and start threatening, some people were threatening people's families, bro, it's football. Relax, innit? There's more to life.
A lot of it is just. I mean, I said to Prime the other day about some guy that just keeps sending someone threats on Instagram, this guy, this Arsenal fan. I'm just like, You're a big man. Like, you're like 50 years old. I don't even know how old he is. Like,
the same happened with me under Prime's comments time.
Just give up on life, innit? Like, if that's what you're doing, arguing on social media with 18 and 19-year-olds, innit? I think it's the end of your life, and you just need to give up.
But the best thing is,
I find all of it funny.
I find it funny.
I just ignore it. I'm just like, these men are arguing with themselves.
For me, I don't mind. If I've got a bit of time to kill or something, I will kind of go back and forth with someone. Not in an argumentative vibe, because I won't say anything malicious or anything, but I will just be inquisitive because I'm curious why you have that sort of mindset or why you react in that sort of way. So I will put something up.
Bro, Arsenal
I'll post something about like Genie not getting an assist and stuff, and you have like people like Mike and Sonny and whatever Liverpool fans that I know, like they know I'm bantering, so they'll have a bit of banter back and forth with me. That's cool. Or I'll say something about Maguire and Harris will banter back with me. That's cool. Or maybe something about Arsenal and you guys will banter back. That's cool.
Bro, the Arsenal fans must hate.
When you have people who will take what I say, what we say seriously, like start of the season, I did a table, Premier League prediction stuff, and I put it out on Twitter and I pinned it for about a month or so. And till this day, there's this guy on Twitter who keeps coming at me whenever Leicester win, saying, "Take back what you said about Leicester finishing ninth, yada yada yada." And like he was coming at me at the start of the season. I was like, well, the reason why I think they'll finish ninth is because I think they'll fade away because Leicester tend to fade away every season.
Yeah.
But ninth is not even a bad position. Because I put Arsenal 7th, and I think I put Wolves like 8th or something like that.
Where do you put United?
4th.
My God, I'll give you respect for
that. But then he keeps coming at me whenever Leicester win, and I'm like, cool. If Leicester finish higher than that, like that's not salt in my face. I rate Leicester, and he keeps coming at me. And I'm like, it's not.
Yeah, but it's just a prediction.
All I thought was, are Newcastle a big club? And this guy went off. It was a question. Like it wasn't even like 100%. I was saying Newcastle are dead or anything like that. I just said, are Newcastle a big club? And this guy went into one, and I was like, I said, big man, have you read the whole of the thread? Because you've just literally taken one part of the thread.
Context.
It was just I just kept writing in it, so obviously it just links them all together. But he skipped like the first 4 or 5. Where I was saying why I thought Newcastle were a big club. And then I said, Newcastle fans, do you think Newcastle are a big club? This guy sent me like, I don't even know why I deleted it. I don't know why I deleted it. I should have just kept it and just...
But you want to know the whole thing with this Newcastle thing? For someone my age, I'm 20, yeah? I never saw Newcastle as that team. I mean, of course, they had Alan Shearer in the past, but when you're growing up, like Newcastle,
they finished second in the Premiership twice, and that's why they think they're a big club.
And they can think that. But when you learn about the history of Newcastle and like all of that, they are bigger than most teams in the league. But are they a Big 6 team? No, I don't think so personally.
Their ground is big. That's about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Newcastle has a bigger stadium than Juventus, or I think it was
and Chelsea.
And Chelsea, actually, you can make a fair argument. See, this is a debate. This is a good debate, to be honest. But
what does ground size make you a big club?
But in terms of fans and everything, like if the fandom also like dictates how big a club is as well.
Yeah,
like Bournemouth is in the Premier League, but let's be real, it's smaller than teams like Luton in the Championship, QPR, Brentford.
Teams, yeah.
It's one of the ones there, Reading as well.
But guys, listen, I'm gonna wrap it up because I do want to actually watch some football, and my TV is in the front room. So what we're gonna do, kick off with Samuel. Once again, big man, tell us where we can find you.
Samuel 4002 AFC on Twitter and EGTV Egal on YouTube. Happy New Year,
Egal.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everyone.
No worries. Harris, Mr. Outrageous Tweets. Like, I'm always telling this guy to shut up, man. He's always saying some mad tweets. Like, what's wrong with this guy?
Bro, listen.
What are you in college?
No, I'm in uni still, bro. Man's only 20.
Is that why you got so much time to tweet rubbishness?
Listen, bro. It's peak times out here. Lockdown, bro. Uni's locked off, man.
Rate that. Harris, tell us where we can find you, man.
First off, big up the Away Day show, innit? Thanks for having me
so
on.
much,
big up all these, man. Big up Samuel. Big up Prime. Follow all these, man, innit? You get me subscribed right now. All of you, man, like the video, but you, man, can follow me on this handle here, Harris Rashid, with a 4 instead of an A on Twitter. But big up Away Day show, man.
Guys, it's not just men that can follow him. Women, you can also follow him.
Yeah, bro. I'm diverse in it.
Harris, your DMs are open, yeah.
Trust me, Harris is looking for love, man.
Listen,
Harris is looking to usher slow jams and that, man. Prime, tell us where we can find you, man.
Yes, Latimus Prime X on Twitter. Essentially anything or everything I'm up to gets tweeted out there. Whether I'm on the Terrace or my own channel with interviews or on Monster CFC channel or bits and bobs where we do the wrap up, or I appear on here. The Away Day show, big up Gunner.
Every time, man. Love the guy. Man. I actually thought he was arrogant when I first heard him. Yeah, I actually didn't like him.
Brother, you can find
Prime, man. Honestly, bro, I didn't like you.
You can find.
I was arrogant.
Yeah, I thought he was arrogant. Like I didn't really.
Prime's the type of guy to say Messi's overrated.
No, you know what? Yeah, like I mistook the way he actually talks. Like the way you talk, I just thought. But then I realized it's actually the way you talk. Like I realized you're not actually being arrogant. Like I just thought, this guy thinks he knows it all. Yeah. But I think it's just the way you do your hand movements. You know, you do that little. And I'm like, this guy's mad arrogant, you know. But he knows what he's talking about, man. Please go if you follow Prime, follow Sam, follow Harris, all of them, man. Thank you so much for coming on today. But
big up, man.
Guys, please like and subscribe to this channel.
I don't mean to sound arrogant or anything, but football is probably the only thing like I feel like I know what I'm talking about. So
Prime's Maguire FC, man. He's actually Maguire FC, fam.
No, I'm Maguire FC as well, man.
Listen, less of that, fam.
If United win the title this season,
it's because of Maguire, man.
I'll go on Twitter, bro.
I will legit make a whole tweet apologizing for every Maguire tweet.
Let's start writing it now, man, because you're in the conversation.
Bro, Prime, you can help me write it as well, bro.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, and everybody have a good night. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, The Away Day Show, Big Gunner on YouTube. Everyone have a blessed night, and let's hope Liverpool lose tonight.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.